Okay, hi everyone. I'm here in association with Voice for All Caregivers, our community support network that we have online, and I'm here today interviewing Micky Allen, runs the boxing gym in Birkenhead. Just before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to Shafts for giving us the room, letting us have the room, letting us have the premises, and do the video. I want to thank Micky for coming along and agreeing to do it. And I just want anyone who's watching this video today, hit the link in the comments. Get on the YouTube channel, what's happening Whittle, all the Voice for All Caregivers information is there, and the link to join Voice for All Caregivers is there. It's a community hub based online where everyone in the care system, whether they work in it or whether they're getting supported in it, gets support. It's a safe place to talk. Okay then, Mick, thanks for coming along today, mate. How are you?
Yeah, brilliant. Glad to be here. I can't believe how shocking it is, and Shafts is just run by loads of kids, youth, teenagers. They're all over the place.
That's right. I was shocked by myself. Yeah, we've come in there today, me and Micky, and it's obviously half term. We forgot about that, and it's getting used well. The building, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
It's the first thing we've said is look how well it's getting used.
They need a building like this in every town.
That's right. Yeah,
every town, just to get all them kids off the street and
that's right.
Get them active.
Yeah.
That's what they're missing. I think kids they're not active enough. A lot of them are locked up in the bedrooms playing Xbox and PlayStation.
That's right, yeah.
And of a night time they're going out and they're riding bikes and stuff and ski masks on.
Yeah.
So kids really should be out in the day, and they should be at places like the Shafts. Shafts is chocker here today.
Chocker,
Can't believe it. But sorry.
Go ahead, mate.
But I'm absolutely made up to be here with you as well, Dave.
Brilliant, because great to see you.
When I was a kid, I used to always see Dave running all the time, keeping fit. What a cracking fella, and I know all the family from down the North End. And
Micky,
respectable family.
Micky, kind of you, mate. Really kind to say. I've known Micky, just so everyone knows. I've known Micky. First time I met Micky was in the Williston boxing gym, and I think you're a bit younger than me, Mick, aren't you? I'm 51.
Yeah, I think I'm 50 in August.
Right, so, okay, because you were a couple of years.
About a year.
Yeah, about a year. So I started going to Williston about, because I'm not a boxer, don't get me wrong. Micky's a boxer, that's why we got him on today. I say Micky said there, he sees me run. I've always been into sport, me. So if anyone would say to me, we'll go in the boxing gym, I'd go, if you know what I mean. My love is football, but I love all sports. So I went into the Williston boxing gym when I was about 17, 18, and Micky was in there with lads like Oti and Bowie and all the
Gary
lads.
Jones, all them lads, all local lads down. Birkenhead, where he went to Williston,
that's right, brilliant. So Micky's got his own boxing gym now. Once Micky finished his boxing career, had a colourful career, Micky, he started his own boxing gym. So we've got him in today to talk about his boxing gym, what it offers the community, and all the great stuff, great stuff he does. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So Micky, how did you first get into boxing as a boxer?
I was always getting into little bits of trouble as a teenager. I was a little bit boisterous and defensive as well. Obviously, people said the wrong things to me. I'd take it offensive to it and end up boxing them in the street. School is, we've got to remember that schools always have the local school bullies and stuff.
Well, that's right.
So we used to see a lot of my friends getting bullied, and I used to try and stick up for them even though I didn't know much about fighting. When I got to age about 11, 12, I went to a self-defense class. It was like ninjutsu, and I went to ninjutsu for about 3 years. My mum and dad used to pay for me to go there, so they made sure it was sort of not hanging around the streets.
Where was that, Mick?
That was at Burnhouse Bats, believe it or not, in Rock Ferry.
Yeah.
So I had to travel from Birkenhead North all the way to Rock Ferry. I wouldn't know what the bus times are, I wouldn't know the trains or nothing. So sometimes I walked there and sometimes I walked home.
How old was you then, Mick, as well?
Yeah, I was 12, 13, 14 when I was there. I was there for about 3 years.
Yeah, you obviously loved it.
I liked it, and it was just something that I had in my toolbox in case I got bullied. Because I seen bullying in school, and it made me think I've got to be a step ahead here, because my friends who were just a little bit less fortunate, a little bit not weaker, but they weren't into fighting. They used to get bullied in school, and I used to try and defend them a little bit, and I got away with a lot in school because I think I had like that humour where people would go, well, Micky's sound, but Himmy's word is not, you know, is not in our favour.
Like a little bit of a joke, it gets you a long way as well, done in school and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got away with a little bit through being a bit of a joker in school, but my friends were a little bit less fortunate, like they weren't rich. They had like shoes hanging off them. They had coats ripped and stuff.
70s and 80s, bad times.
Yeah, and people had that little bit more than us, and they used to penalise those people who were less fortunate by skitting at them or smacking them after school and stuff, and smacking them in the dinner queue and stuff, jumping in the dinner queue in front of them and not giving anyone respect. So I went to ninjutsu, and it sort of like taught me a bit of self-defense in case something was going to happen to me, because there's always someone going to challenge it, isn't
That's right, yeah.
And then I went to I had a couple of little street fights as a kid, because that's what happens, isn't it, when you're defending yourself as well. And someone come along and just went, hey, if you like fighting, then go to that gym there, and pointed at like it was the Ford ABC.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up going to this Ford ABC, and I got signed up by some guys who ran it at the time.
You remember who they were, Mick? These were good.
Johnny McElroy was an absolute brilliant fella. He's still to me.
Well, I was going to ask you, because funny enough, I went a similar route to you, even though I'm not a boxer. We lived on Old Lake Road when I was a kid, around about 1974, just opposite where our Sue lives now. Yeah. And we moved from the North End to the Ford. And I had a spell in the Beechwood, in the Ford, but it wasn't Johnny Mack, it was the people before them. Can you remember who they are, Mick? I was going to ask you. I'm going back to about 77. I was about 5. Yeah.
I didn't go to the Ford ABC until it was like 1988,
and that's Johnny Mack was there then, because that's Johnny I left school. That's right.
There was another
cleaner Johnny as well.
He's a cracking fella.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I always speak about him as being my first boxing trainer. He was teamed up with another fella called Pally. Right. And Pally was a good little boxing trainer as well. And we had so much respect for boxing trainers then, because we knew where we stood. Yeah. These guys looked after us and pointed us in the right direction. The gym up the Ford Estate was chocker, and it was chocker with kids from the Noctorum, kids from the Woodchurch Estate. Yeah. So they had the Noctorum Estate, the Woodchurch Estate, Upton, Ford Estate, and all just round that area went to that boxing gym. Yeah. And I was from Birkenhead North, and I'm like travelling about 6 miles on foot because I couldn't afford a push bike. I wouldn't have had a car, I was a kid, but we wouldn't have had a push bike, so we'd have walked to the Ford and then we'd have walked back home after.
That's a long walk when you're a kid, doesn't seem much now. When you're a kid, it's a long walk.
6th Avenue.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you're cutting through those estates sort of thing, survival, because them guys on the estates, I'm on their turf. Yeah. And when I was in Ford ABC and there was sparring going on, everyone that was in there would have been looking at you thinking, well, you're from Birkenhead North, so tonight you're getting it. Yeah. You know, but no, they adopted us up there once I started boxing for
Ford ABC. There's always respect once you get your feet in the door with the gym. There's always respect in a boxing gym, isn't there?
I had loads of good friends up there in Ford ABC. And that was with Johnny Mack and his partner in crime as boxing trainer was Pally. Right. And they used to get the odd couple of fellas coming in and helping out on certain nights. They were like, come and go. Because what was odd about boxing trainers is they probably had full-time jobs. Yeah, And the boxing gym's only open like from 6 o'clock till 7. Yeah. In the past, you got an hour out of it, and the trainers would have been at work all day, and then they come and looked after us for a couple of hours a night.
A bit like what you're doing now, sort of, a bit like what you're doing now. You've got your own business as well, haven't you? And you work long hours, but then you do it for the love, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Well, to some people will have a boxing match and you might never see them again. Some people might have a boxing match and they just can't get it out the system. It's there, it's stuck with them. But then I moved to Birkenhead ABC because it was the Ford ABC was probably not getting funding enough and
Right,
keeping
okay.
up. They couldn't keep up with the bills. I'm taking it that's what was happening, and they shut the gym down. They knocked the building down, built houses on there, and then I moved to Birkenhead ABC. It was actually called Birkenhead ABC, and that was on Station Road, Birkenhead North. It was like they never had a boxing gym down the North End. I don't know whether you remember it. So I was in Birkenhead ABC, and they had a load of fights for them. I was with Billy Boyd, Derek Ashcroft, Billy Boyd Senior, and I was with my dad, Micky Allen, and there was a gang of good people, trainers. The gym was chocker because there was so many naughty kids down that North End when they weren't in school. They were always in that boxing gym. And they took kids on from like age 6, 7, 8, all the way to teenagers.
Was the Cavo there then? Do you remember when the venture went through a stage called the Cavo?
Yeah.
Was that there then when the because I don't remember the Station Road one.
Yeah.
But I remember it being called the Cavendish because it was outside Cavendish School, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the Cavendish is it's a few streets up by the bus depot.
That's right,
the bus depot. So the Cavendish was there, and
one of the Thomases was running it then. One of the Tomos was running it. You'll know him. I can't think of his first name.
Tony DePonio, I think, was running it or owned it or something. So the Cavendish was there, and then that changed to the Venture.
Because I had a little spell going to the Cavendish well before I met you in the Williston. Same again, just going to get people saying you come in the gym, so you'd go. Do you know what I mean?
And then when I did a spell at Birkenhead ABC, which I loved being at Birkenhead ABC, it seemed like that was the same situation going on there with the gym shutting down, and no one helping out to pay the gas and electric and the rent and all that. So I ended up boxing for West Wirral under Georgie Treble, who was a great fella. He then moved. Georgie ended up doing Golden Gloves boxing over.
Was that in Morton?
That was in Morton, at a boys' club. It was called West Wirral Boys. Or
still there, I think. I'm sure it's still going. That it is, I
think it does like snooker and darts and stuff like that. And it's got like a great little boxing gym in there as well. So I boxed for West Wirral. Johnny Bowker was at West Wirral and I boxed there. Johnny Bowker was a referee who used to referee. So he refereed some of my fights before I was in West Wirral as a fighter, before he was a trainer. And Johnny Bowker used to referee my fights, and then he became a trainer later on in the years. And then he ended up in Liscard, because Liscard had an amateur boxing club. Later on in the years, he ended up at Liscard ABC in a gym called the 27 Club, which isn't there now. Was
that on Mount Road, that area there?
It's over the road from the police station.
I was going to say, is that called Mount Road? I should know it's actually drive. I know what you mean. There's still a big building there,
and it's like a monkey house or something for kids to climb.
There's a monkey house. There's a school uniform. There's stuff going on in that building.
So that building's still active, but it's not a boxing gym. And I think upstairs, my gym, when I say my gym, because I was there that much in a week, I could say it was my gym, it was like, it ended up becoming like my boxing class, if I put it that way. So we ended up upstairs, and there was a boxing gym upstairs. The funny thing is now, upstairs is like an event room.
I'm sure there's a social club there.
A social club,
there is,
And what happens? People rent
it's called
it.
The 101 Club or something like that.
And where the dance floor is where the ring used to be.
Right, okay,
So I've got to remember, if you ever go there and it's a party, it's for dancing, not punching. So they're the gyms that I ended up involved in. Becoming a trainer.
Then you go to Williston. When did you go to Williston?
Do you know what happened with the?
Because I remember seeing you in the Williston.
The Williston. I think I was there for about a week or two.
Right, okay. It must have just been coincidence you were there when I went there.
Yeah, I think what had happened. The
Dolly and people like that were there, weren't they? Dolly went for a bit.
Yeah, there was loads of lads who knocked around with us. When we were kids. I went to Williston because when the Ford ABC closed, I sort of had to find my feet. So I went to Williston. I went to the Cavendish. I went Birkenhead ABC. And Birkenhead ABC basically was just right for me. It was like, the way they taught you how to box and the style of boxing was just for me, you know. So I sort of related a little bit better to Birkenhead.
It's funny you should mention your style, right? Because I've had a few conversations with you over the years about your boxing style, and I agree actually. Well, I agree a lot. People have compared you to Floyd Mayweather, style-wise. Now, anyone who doesn't watching this, Mickey was boxing 10-15 years before Floyd Mayweather. So a lot of people sort of say that, you know, Floyd Mayweather's got a new style of his own with his shoulder rolls and stuff like that, but that's how you used to box. I've seen you do it, and what I've noticed on some of your videos, well, I've had conversations with that about you for 20 years since Floyd Mayweather's been on the scene. People have said that, so I don't know whether you've ever heard it from people, but a lot of people have said it to me. But what I've noticed lately by watching some of your videos you've put up lately, you also throw the jab a little bit like Tyson throws it. You sort of twist your head, the way, because Tyson was smaller. Yeah. And so Tyson's style, the way he's got that peekaboo style, and Tyson sort of ducks his head under as you throw the jab.
So you're throwing it with your head out the way.
I've seen you throw it like that, very similar. And Tyson's really the only heavyweight I've seen throw it like that.
Yeah, because a lot of heavyweights would have been a bit more upright and on the toes a little bit. Yeah.
So is that why you throw it like that, Mick? Just out of interest.
I think what had happened with myself is I watched so much boxing from being a kid. Like, you know, I've been watching super bouts when I was aged 8, 9, 10 because boxing was interesting to me. I watched super bouts, and then when I ended up going into a real boxing gym, I started like watching fighters and thinking, well, if that worked for him, I'm going to go to the gym and spar, and I'm going to do it and see if it works. And then if it works and you don't get it, then keep it, you know, add it to your toolbox. And that's what I did. The Floyd Mayweather thing was this. I've got fights of mine that are like 1990. So I've got boxing matches of mine, 1990, 91, 92, 93.
So when's that 10-15 years between Mayweather?
Well, Mayweather I don't think was I think he might
after the millennium, after 2000.
I never seen a Floyd Mayweather fight before I was doing shoulder roll.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was doing shoulder roll, if you want to call it. Some people will call it shoulder roll, some people call it cross arm defense.
It's defensive mode.
What it is, it's like having your hands in front of your face so you don't get it in the nose. Basically. Don't get me wrong, I started off with peekaboo, and it wasn't until like a couple of the trainers just adjusted what was going on with my hands.
Have you got to be confident to do that style? I take it you have.
I think you've got to have.
You see a lot of boxers are robotic, and that's no disrespect to like that style, because that's how a lot of world champions box, robotic sort of to a degree. So does it come with confidence to sort of use your shoulder and roll it a little bit? I'd imagine.
It won't work for everyone.
That's right.
You know, you couldn't teach, as an example, big names. You couldn't get Mike Tyson to box going backwards. It just wouldn't suit him. So if he was getting trained by Angelo Dundee, who was Muhammad Ali's trainer, then Tyson would struggle to box going backwards and box maybe with his hands down, with using that elusiveness of moving his head. But Tyson needed that. For the style and the aggression that he's got. So luckily he was with the right coach. Because Costamato and Kevin Rooney and them guys were well, they wouldn't be able to, like, I don't believe they'd be able to train Muhammad Ali.
Well, that's right.
I don't think they would. I don't think Muhammad Ali would suit their type of boxing. So it's like all the thousands of fighters that went through Costamato.
So you got the ideal fighter that suits
and it's the same with Angelo Dundee. Like he would have trained thousands upon thousands of boxers, and then that one just knows exactly what he wants. Prince Naseem the same. If he had his hands down, he was elusive, moving his head and that. There's only one guy.
Style, could you?
No, not really. But there's only one guy that would have allowed it, and that would have been Brendan Ingle. And Brendan Ingle had it, you know, for a load of good fighters that come up the ladder and were world title contenders. So that style basically suited certain people, but you couldn't put Brendan Ingle with Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson wouldn't want to engage in a fight with his hands down. So it's having them thousands of fighters come through the door, and just that one, where you go. That's the one that matches me. It's like me. I try to teach peekaboo for the guy that wants peekaboo, and I try to teach shoulder roll for the ones who want to do shoulder roll, because shoulder roll doesn't suit everyone. So just peekaboo doesn't suit everyone.
Just out of interest then, with Mayweather coming 10 years after, whether you can remember, or whether can you put a finger on where it come from?
I used to watch fighters of the 1950s. Even more. I seen a fight with Jack Dempsey against Jess Willard, 1919, and it was pointed out that, you know, where Jack Dempsey's hands were when Jess Willard was trying to hit Jack, the hands were here in front of his face, and the big guy was trying to knock out the little guy, and the little guy was just knocking his hands out the way. So then I thought, well, if that worked for him, then it might work for me. So then when I've gone to the gym, I've tried to practice it on other people. Then and you got to do it with repetition and repetition and repetition. It won't just come in one day, because the timing's got to be perfect. So then I started watching Archie Moore of the 40s and 50s. Then I started watching Sugar Ray Robinson of the 1940s, 50s. They all had that like classy little, it looks like the hands are down and it looks like they're open, but they con you into, like, they're tricking you into engaging with them in a fight, and then they knock you out. So I started like watching them, and then my greatest was James Toney, because he sort of come out in the 90s.
The name rings a bell. I can't picture
James Lights Out Tony. He ended up doing cross arm, and he was dead good with it and sweet with it, and I loved watching him. And he had head movement and everything. Hard to hit, never been knocked out. He's had about 100 fights, never been knocked out. So he was a middleweight, super middleweight, and then he went up to heavyweight, and then come down to cruiserweight. So he's like a multi-weight champion. And I've never seen him in like a boring fight. He's exciting to watch in any weight division. So James Toney had cross arm, shoulder roll. So I'd sort of watched and monitored and studied, and some people might have pointed it out to me who were educated in boxing. I've soaked up all the information like a sponge, and now anyone who comes to my gym will get told, listen, if you put this hand here, you won't get it in the nose. You know, because that's you know, I don't want lads boxing and there's a referee's stopping the fight because he's got blood all over his shirt.
You've got to not get it, haven't you?
Don't get it. Don't get it. And as brave as I was in my boxing matches, my first load of boxing matches were like, my trainers did their best with me to tell me, this is what you need to do. Keep your hands up.
Who was the first trainer? It's not of interest. Who was the first trainer?
Johnny Mack. Johnny Mack.
First one to really see there's something in you.
I suppose. I mean, you know, everyone deserves a chance, don't they? So if you work hard in the gym.
I know in a lot of gyms. I know you're a bit different when this goes, because you sort of do take time out and sort of stuff, and when newcomers come in, they haven't got to necessarily be the next world champion if you spend time with them. But in a lot of boxing gyms, in my experience, I don't know whether you'd agree with this, or what your experience, where you sort of left to it a little bit until they might get your stance right, and they might sort of get your arms right, but then they sort of don't spend much time with it until they do see a bit of talent, and that was just the way a lot of boxing gyms were around the world, I suppose. Now I know because I've watched some of your videos, you sort of you'll spend time with everyone that you can. It's like your thing.
So you're treating everyone quite the same. You can't like feather someone's nest because they look better than the next person that comes through the door.
It's a common thing in gyms though, isn't it? Boxing gyms, isn't it?
The thing is, someone can come in with some great talent, but he might not have the heart to have a boxing match. He might not want it. So, and then you've got someone who comes in who's rough and ready, his feet are everywhere. He doesn't know whether he's slipping left or right, but he's got the heart to get in that ring and have a boxing match and probably come out the winner through fitness, aggression, and you know, drive. So I think what happened to me was I'd become a regular in the gym, and if you become a regular face and you're coming in the gym 3 times a week or so, or 4, what happens is you get noticed a lot more.
Serious about this sort of thing.
And there's guys who would have been in the gym who were better than me, but they might not have got a fight because they could only turn up twice a week. So if you haven't got the dedication, you wouldn't really get pushed into, do you want to box? that a lot of gyms when I boxed, and like many others before me, you only got in the gym if you was fighting.
Yeah.
When you got to the door, they would say to you,
well, that's
you're boxing
right.
For the club.
That's right, because I think the Williston said that when we went
you're
there.
Boxing for the club.
Yeah.
Because if you said no, you weren't getting in, because they'd just say, well, you know, we're busy.
Yeah.
We're looking after people who are putting 100% in.
Yeah.
These guys are boxing. And I knew to say that I was going to box, even if I didn't want to box.
Just because you wanted, yeah.
And it's not until about 6-8 weeks later, your name's on a bloody blackboard, and you're thinking, oh shit, I'm in here now. I'm going to have to have a fight. I don't want to leave, so I'm going to have to have a fight.
Can you remember your first fight?
Yes, it was an absolute war with a lad called Taylor. I boxed a lad from Vauxhalls. It was an absolute terror. There was no boxing in it.
No.
Even though I got taught, this is your jab, this is your right hand, and so on. It was an absolute war.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I went back.
Yeah.
So if that was a war, I'm thinking at the end of it, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Still went back and had another one, and it went on like that.
Yeah. How many fights did you have, Mick?
About 47 or 46, 47. Yeah. With different clubs. So it was with Ford ABC, Birkenhead ABC, West Wirral, Liscard. Yeah. So we had like quite a few, Yeah. And I don't remember having an easy fight.
No.
I do remember this. I remember going to the gym a few times, and I'm not the only one, by the way, who's had to do this. I've gone to the gym on a Wednesday, and I've been told I'm fighting on Friday.
Wow.
Now, this is the mad thing. In the gyms today,
is that because someone's a bit like in the that's like the
they just match it up.
Yeah,
there's a match. So they're
taking 10 fighters for this match, so someone can't make it whatever, and you're just in.
You're in, and the thing is, you can't say no.
Is there, I suppose, because they know you're.
Yeah, if you're regular,
you know you're ready. Yeah,
if you're regular, like I was saying before, to get in a boxing gym 30 years ago, you had to box for the club, but it's gone the other way round now. It's like you don't have to box for the club to get in a boxing gym. Yeah. It's like so some gyms.
Is that a good thing? Do you like that?
I don't mind. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Trainer, because obviously
I want to train fighters.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to train.
Yeah, so you get the logic in it, but the trainer in you doesn't really.
Yeah.
You get,
so what I'm trying to do is get what's in my head for him to do physically.
Yeah.
But I need to see it done physically in a boxing match. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just a PT.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be just a PT.
Here's a question for you then. If someone comes in, right, and their psychology is like, they just say, listen, I just want to box and train and stuff like that. Say they said things. I know you're quite passionate about this. Say they said, listen, I've been sent this way because of my mental health. Yeah. You know, I struggle in that with my mood and stuff. I've been sent to the gym. Said it'd be great for me and stuff, and I want to get involved. Yeah. But I don't want to fight. And you'd say, no problem at all. Yeah. Right. So then, what would happen if you've seen the talent there?
I'd encourage him to fight.
Start to get into his psyche.
I'd encourage him. But the thing is, what I'd do first is, I can't treat a professional fighter any different than an amateur, any different to someone who doesn't want to fight.
Would you get him around the pros?
I'd get him around it. I'd get him let him come in.
Fighting,
let him come in. Yeah. Let him work out what's what. If he's got a bit of skill, bit of talent, maybe put him in.
You'd soon get the bug. You'd soon get the bug if he was around the people who were fighting.
And also what he'd be like in sparring. So here, he might not want it. Yeah. Here, he might not want it. Yeah. But he's physically got the attributes to do the job. Yeah. And then I might be able to encourage him mentally, and here might encourage him to say, why don't you give it a go? Have one fight. Yeah. If you don't like it, don't do it. Yeah. But if they say no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
You know what? It sounds mad. What I do is, if someone who doesn't want to fight competitively, turn him into an absolute brilliant sparring partner for the ones who do want to fight.
Yeah.
So if the guy likes boxing, he's going to turn up at the gym because he likes boxing. If he likes the idea of being a sparring partner, but he hasn't got the attributes in a fight, like they've got it all in the gym. But when it comes to a fight and the spotlight's on you and you've got 1 million people watching, you just haven't got the attributes. but in the gym he looks like he's amazing.
All sports like that, isn't it?
Yeah, turn him into
all sport. Football's
partner.
quite similar. You get lads that train well, to getting it over to the actual events. Is a different. And it's a weird thing, this, because it's in race horses and that are the same. Anything that's athletic. The training doesn't necessarily go over to the main events. And vice versa. Do you know what I mean?
So anyone who like comes in and they've got issues, they've got mental issues, mental problems. They might have ADHD. They might be like learning difficulties. It does not matter what you are, what you've got. It doesn't matter what race, boy, girl. It doesn't matter if you fancy going to a boxing gym and learning a trade, whether it's for the sport, competitive, whether it's self-defense, even if it's just because you love the game and it keeps you fit. Just get in there. Get in there. Do a couple of hours. Anyone before they have a boxing match competitively, they have to spar first. So you know whether you like it or not in a spar. If you get it in the nose and you don't like it, you just don't spar again. But in the past, when I started boxing, it was like if you got it in the nose, it was tough. If you got it, it's like tough. This is how it is. This is the game. You trained hard as well. We got treated as if it was like army barracks sometimes, and that's how it's got to be. But what we're like now, because of people's mental health, we can't go running in and screaming and shouting at everyone no more. We had to sort of, watch what we're saying, watch what we're doing, watch how we speak to people and that. But even though it's the fight game, we're all meant to be like quite tough, and that's how it's meant to work. It's meant to be like straight to the point. No nitty gritty. If you want to box, don't waste our time. All that type of stuff. That's how it should be, basically. But we let the public in, and they can use the place as a recreation centre. They can just come in and enjoy.
Just a quick plug then before we finish chapter 1. Let the video 1. What's your gym called again, Mick, and where is it based?
It's I've got 2 names for this. It's Whittle Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts, and it's a CIC club. And there's another part of the club which is 12 Keys Professional Boxing Limited. So obviously in the past it was hard for boxers to turn professional on the Whittle. If you was from a big city, you turn professional like that. But if you're from a small town or county and you haven't got the people around you with the contacts, then it was quite hard to turn professional in the boxing. But our gym is one of 2. There's only 2 professional boxing gyms on the Whittle. And mine's been there since year 2000 as a professional boxing gym. So I've had our gym for about 22 years. I've trained about 10,000 people, and I don't know how many kids have been in and out the gym, and how many lives have been saved, because at the end of the day, my life has been saved by boxing, not through anything bad. I think I got involved in boxing before things started being bad. Like, it stopped me from drinking, which is great. All my mates used to go out drinking every weekend. I didn't. I was in a boxing ring getting my head punched in every weekend. But I loved it. And then I didn't do drugs. I don't drink, don't smoke. So it's done something for me, you know what I mean? It has, and it didn't let me do crime, because I was spending that much time in a boxing gym, whether it was 5 hours a week or 55 hours a week.
Life, honest, do you know what I mean?
So 5 hours a week, 55 hours a week in the gym. It saved me from committing any crime and following people that are going to commit crime, because sometimes you're following people who commit crime to entertain yourself. But instead of doing that, if you can get in a boxing gym, it'll change your life a little bit. In any sport, football, rugby, basketball, youth clubs, if you like a bit of boxing, fighting, get into a martial arts. It doesn't have to be boxing, but get into a martial arts, kickboxing, Thai boxing, do something, or get your kids into something. If you think your kids are running riot in the street, get them into a club and get them doing an activity. Because otherwise they're just going to commit a crime. they're going to get older, they're going to drink beer, they're going to do drugs, and they're going to end up in jail. And they're going to, I couldn't say it any easier. Once mistakes are made, there might be no turning back, and they end up in jail.
Yeah. What we're going to do, I'm going to thank Micky there. We're going to cut that now, because this is chapter 1 or 2, video 1 or 2. Micky, I'm going to thank you for coming in, speaking to us.
Brilliant.
Micky's gym, he's plugged the gym there, 12 keys. Anyone watching this, get involved. We're going to talk a bit more in video 2 about, go a bit more depth about dealing with kids with mental health, what else his gym offers, and some more stories. Thanks again, Mick, for coming out.
You're welcome. Brilliant.
Take care now.